Yeah, mic check. Can you hear me clearly? Everything good? Fine? Okay. Can we start? Good. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's always lovely to see so many of you here. We're going to start with the teachers' meeting. We have less than an hour, which is not very long, so please bear with me and try to keep your points short, and so we can get through it as fast as possible without losing the point. Let's start with the agenda. Can everyone read it? Announcement is very small. 2 people asked me for a short announcement. Updates about the meeting of ReThink with the CVB. Next point, how to respond to the CVB. That is split in whether demand 1 and 3 will be separately from demand 2, when and if there will be a new deadline for the CVB, how to hold the initiative, and who to mandate for the response. Point 4 is other updates, FMV, strategy work group, students' protest of Friday, other work groups and statements. Point 5, how to proceed, organization and communications, and the next meeting. Does anyone have any objections to this agenda?
It's not an objection, but I think it's important as a part of the discussion under 3 to talk for some moment about the position and the role of the formal representative bodies in the future process. That's the ondernemingsraden and the core. Because it's my hypothesis that they are envisaged by Court of Governors as part of the move to channel it all in other waters. And I think it's important for this meeting and for the occupation at large to discuss how we see the role of these bodies, yes, and what role they should play and how they should be accountable to staff, to students, and to this meeting. And I think it's best to do it under 3 at some point that will come up.
Yes. I think we can put it in there. Can you summarize it once more for me, sorry?
Well, the short one is OR and Cor.
C or yeah?
Cor, you know the name?
Yeah.
And then Cor without a C.
Yeah, I got that. Cool, so anyone else about the agenda? No? Alright, let's quickly go to the hand signs then. 1 hand up is a regular point. 2 hands like this is a short, direct response. No more than 10 seconds, please. If you have something that does not have anything to do with the current point we're discussing, you can make a technical point. If something is unclear, you can ask for a clarification. And you can make a proposal. Temperature check, if you agree to something, hands up, meh, no. And if something is really being uncool, you do the kaksign, haantjesgedrag. But let's try to avoid that. So there were 2 people who asked me for a quick announcement. Can I have those 2 people?
Hi, my name is Claire Vida. I'm trying to coordinate the emails, and I have a request. Please, it's fantastic we have so much discussion, but please be careful when replying to the whole mailing list if you have a point. Yeah, because it's going out to 600 people. And we have separate mailing lists for the working groups. They can be found on our website. And if you want to join up for a working group, you can simply send an email to the specific mailing address of the working group and you'll become a member. And if any information on the website is incorrect, please let me or Dan Hassler-Forrest know and we will correct it. Okay, thank you.
This is very short, I'll just take a minute. But it is also meant to get you in the right mood for this meeting, and I want you to receive this with a loud and roaring boo, if you can. This morning, oh no, just now, I found a letter in my pigeonhole, which read as follows. It was a letter from my dean, that's of the humanities. It was dated more than 3 weeks ago, so the delay is probably due to other things on his mind. So, here we go. It was in Dutch, but I'll translate. Herewith, I inform you that per February 1st, 2015, I discharge you as Deputy Chair of the Exam Committee, Philosophy. Per February 1st, the task of this Exam Committee has been usurped, no, that should read, have been taken over by the Exam Committee of the College of the Humanities. Signed, Frank de Vree. This is about centralization, isn't it?
Thank you. We had a reaction to that? No? Nothing? Okay, then we will go to updates. Meeting of ReThink UvA with the CVP. Who can tell me more about that? Tell us more.
Well, we went there being not mandated, but just because some response was required to the invitation that we required. So we went there with some 6 of us. We sat there for an hour, and it took very, very long before it somehow dawned upon the CVP that we were not there to discuss anything with them, let alone negotiate with them, but that we simply wanted their response to the little list of eisen that we had issued. I'm not really sure whether they finally really got it, but well, we have to wait and see. After all, they didn't respond. They were very eager to, to say yes, but we don't only have to listen to you. There are other groups in the university. Of course, these things we know. But again, our point was that they were required by us to respond, and they did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
When's the response?
Yeah.
When will that be?
The response was intended to have been received before now, so that we could discuss it. And we know that they asked for a delay. So we will going to discuss that independently.
Yeah, that was it. Then we can go to point 3. Other updates will come later because point 3 is mainly important. How to respond to the CVB. They split up. They only really responded to technical point. Sorry.
What is the goal of this meeting? Do you want to reach out to the people who pay the professors, the people, or is it an internal meeting? Because that's what you choose for Netherlands or English as spoken language.
Please keep it central. If you have a point, raise your hand.
It is. I would see it as a general assembly of the staff members who make up ReThink, and because of a lot of staff members being English language speakers or other language speakers, we decided to do it in English.
There seems to be consensus on that. So then again to point 3. They really only responded to demand number 2. Will you respond to that separately or to all the 3 together? Anyone? Since the response was mainly about the second demand, whether you will reply to demand 1 and 3 separately from demand 2, or whether you will respond about them all together.
What was the response?
The response was a delay, if I understand correctly.
Sorry, just to clarify the state of affairs. As Gijs said, we went to a meeting. The meeting was informative. minimally informative in the sense that our demands are clear. What we wanted, we're not representing. We have no powers of negotiation. We just went to see if they already have sort of emerging ideas on how to respond to the ISA. We can help them in any way, that would be great, but that's not the direction the conversation took. Instead, what we got this morning was a request. I should say this, we made it patently clear again and again, because they wanted to talk about the problems of putting together a program on how to democratize the university, etc. We said that's absolutely fine that you're thinking about it, and we would like to see your thoughts on paper, all of us. But we also remind you that that's one demand that we had of 3 immediate demands. The response we got this morning via email was a request to grant them more time to put together the plan, a plan for democratization. That is the second demand, completely ignoring demand 1 and 3, which require no particular plan. Instead, really requires, also for the sake of reinstating trust, the answer, yes, we will have an independent investigation. Yes, we will put a moratorium on all of the business that we wanted to stop temporarily. Those 2 ISA were completely ignored in the communication, or at the very least, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, we received no further communication to that saying, oh, and by the way, yeah, we want to talk about democratization, and meanwhile, yeah, you can have 1 and 3. That didn't happen, okay? So this is the situation. The CVB has now ignored 2 of the 3 ISA and asked for an extension for their deliberations on how to address point 2. This is the situation as it is now.
How much more time do they want?
How much more time do they want?
Sometime next week, but only for point 2.
The CVB asked, correct me if I'm wrong, for an extension into sometime next week.
Okay, sorry. This is me being media friendly here.
Please do raise hands if you want to make a point.
I apologize. They indicated that they needed a little more time until after the weekend, but there was no specification of when exactly after the weekend. The press has been hounding us all day, asking about how we will respond to their request for an extension on their deadline. Our official response to them has been, as teachers, we get these questions all the time. We will try to deal with it appropriately and in due care. We will decide today in our meeting at 4 in an open and democratic way how to deal with your request and whether there are grounds to extend the deadline in this particular situation. And whether any further penalties will be imposed for breaking that deadline. So I guess the first priority in this meeting would be to establish, do we want to grant that extension? Should it be a partial extension or a complete extension? So do we say, sure, you have until Monday at 4 to deliver a response to all of the 3 primary demands? Or do we say, no, it was an ultimatum, and that word has significant discursive power that we use to its utmost effect. And now there will be some degree of action on our part for, breaking that ultimatum. I think that's one way, and there's another way, and there are a number of ways in between, and it's up to the assembly today to decide how to respond.
Great point.
There's also, just to add, because I was also one of the people who went there yesterday, is that with regards to the point to democratization, we also said that, it was just about their initial ideas on this, and that they could also say that it wasn't put in stone yet, so that it was a way for opening dialogue. And I think that's important to realize that, what was said.
That was a regular point. Any more points? Hands?
So I just assume we are really discussing this now, right? It's not a preliminary thing, and I tend to think that we wouldn't give away too much to actually extend the deadline once until next Tuesday, I suggest. That's a real gesture. We take seriously that they say they take us seriously, right? But then we expect them to answer all, at least, I mean we can just discuss that further, at least all the 3 immediate demands. And there will be no further deadline at all. That's what I think.
Yes, sir.
I completely agree, and I think we should also make a point out of the fact that they only answered to point 2 and can make a strong argument that we consider that a sign that they again didn't listen to us and don't understand the frustration, and that makes it even more urgent that on Tuesday they come really with answer to all of the 3 points.
I mean, we can do that. I think that's an option, but we can also, you know, do we have to repeat ourselves, really? But maybe not, right? Because, you know, I mean, I'm not sure about this, but we can also just say, you know, 3 points, react to the 3 points. And we ignore everything that you said that didn't take seriously 1, 2, and 3.
I take your point, Natalie. I was at the meeting as well. I don't mind waiting until Monday. I don't think it should be Tuesday. If anything, I think it should be Monday, 9 a.m. They can have the weekend. But I have to say, with all, colleagues will correct me if they have different impressions. My impression was that meeting, given the kind of conversation we were having, is that the CVB is continuing with its war of attrition on the faculty and on the students. And the longer we wait, the more time we're wasting in mobilizing, organizing, and getting our message across and involving more people in this fight. If you think that another 2 days is really going to make a difference in the CVB's approach, do you think that this weekend they're going to change their hard drive, they're going to change the paradigm within which they're working? I think, unfortunately, I'm not saying this with any degree of pleasure, I think you're wrong. Because I think that the CVB is locked on either a target of survival in their chairs, or I don't know what. I personally think, and again, this doesn't exclude the possibility of giving an extension on the 1 eyes or on the 2. They frankly have ignored us. The last thing we said to them before we left the room, you treat us as adults and you will be treated like that as well. What? This is clearly not happened because they're trying to play another game of stalling. So I personally think that following up the gentleman's point, our next audience is no longer the CVB. It could happen on Monday, it can happen today. Our audience is the Raad van Toezicht, is the people who can fire the CVB, or the people who can allow us to ignore them while moving forward with our plans for how to democratize the university.
Technical point?
I'm wondering how smart it is to have the cameras rolling while we are making up our minds and trying to talk about the strategy. So I would say,
We're democracy. We have nothing to hide. The CVB has something to hide. That's
okay. No, okay. If that is the... Okay.
Hands, please. Another technical point.
I'm recording for UvA Universiteit YouTube channel, and if you don't agree for me to post it, I won't post it. So let's be clear about it.
So I guess we can do a quick temperature check, to post or not to post. Hands, please. Which he is bidding. Yeah, to post or not to post. Agree? Not agree? Full temperature check.
But I don't know.
I think that is a consensus for yes.
But I don't know about this camera, so.
That's given to you. All right, can we continue with the points now?
Sorry. There's also an RT5 camera, and I think it's live, right? And we do need to say there are a lot of people here with microphones. there are colleagues here with weak contracts, with temporary flexible contracts who might not feel comfortable to talk here if there's a camera faced on them. So I do think we should also vote for the live camera 85. We want to have democracy, we don't have anything to hide maybe, yeah, but people need to feel comfortable, so we need to ask ourselves, it's not live. It's not live? We need live items. It's not live? Okay. So people need to feel comfortable to say critical things, and we should, we moeten er rekening mee houden. We should take it into mind. I had another point, by the way.
Ja, nou ja, oké. Als iemand niet in beeld wil, maar als je dat van tevoren zegt, dan komt het bij de redactie niet, je hoort wat er gebeurt, dan komt die persoon sowieso niet in het item.
Anyone else on this? If someone does not want to be on camera, please do say so, so they will cut you out. So can we do a temperature check on 85 then? Alright, cameras can stay. So can we now go on with point 3, please?
Okay, I would advocate an extension. Yesterday there was a meeting of unionized colleagues and also non-unionized, and there was a union representative there. And well, first of all, if we give an extension, then this group can also put forward the same demands, and because this group stepped in later, they cannot just take over the same demand, the union representative said. It needs to be official, put forward the demands, and therefore their ultimatum will also be later, because they stepped in later. And so if we take this time to synchronize, then we can also start on working actions under the umbrella of the union, which is the largest advocatenkantoor, lawyers firm in Holland. And so we have this protection. So I would say, let's give them their extension, and these groups can synchronize, and in the meanwhile, organize actions, for example, a student demonstration, so that's at least going on. And next time we will be stronger as workers at the university to take action.
I had a quick point here.
I would add to that, just also kind of pleading for the extension, precisely because it will allow other groups, whether the union or other kind of consultation bodies, or groups of us within this faculty but across the faculties, to think of other proposals, to begin to organize and begin to think about what we do after we get this response, if we do get it.
Thank you. We are kind of mixing up the subparts. I guess that's okay if you're all okay with it, but we will vote separately. New point?
No, not really. I would say let's give them this extension. Write them a letter that they get it, and stress very shortly that they also are required to do points 1 and 3. So, okay. Yes, I agree that we should admit the extension. I'm slightly less negative of what the effect of that may be than you were, Guy. But I would say, okay, you have your extension, but please don't forget also to respond to points 1 and 3. Just that.
My name is Maagdenhuis. I was wondering if we should also discuss the sanctions if they do not, whatever deadline we give them. Oh, sorry, that's how to proceed.
All right. Any more on this? Yeah? Yeah, please put the microphone closer to your mouth so we can hear you better. A point right up there. Please come up.
I think groups who wish to join us can do so even if the CVB does not make the deadline. So we don't need to wait for that. 2, time is in the interest of the CVB, not us. We have created a momentum which is unique in recent Dutch history. The longer we wait, the smaller that momentum becomes. Action readiness is peaking right now. If we give them an extension at all, let that not be until Tuesday, let it be, I don't know, Sunday evening, 9 o'clock. So Monday morning, you know, we do what we have to do to make our demands heard. Sorry, you had a point? You wanted to say something?
No. I agree with the man from political science. I think there is really no point in postponing further action. If the CVB does want to respond to the 3 points that you made, they can still do, even if we do plan and do further action. If they agree to all demands, I mean, we can still cancel further actions, but there is no reason in postponing planning and actually doing them. I think we should really keep up the pressure and not allow them to have more time to develop their counter strategy, because I think that's really what they're doing. They don't need more time to think how to implement our demands. They need more time to develop a counter strategy. I wouldn't give them that time.
Thank you. Technical point?
Can you hear me? Okay. Let's not make some points. How to proceed is something different than... Sorry. Oh, okay. I think we should first decide on whether or not to give the delay, and then decide on the question whether or not that implies that we should not or should organize further action.
Okay, not giving them an extension, well, this group promised itself to take action. So, I'm sorry, not giving them the extension means, sort of, at least to ourselves, to take action. Well, I think we do need to give them this extension, because if the union has given them an official ultimatum, then a lot of people are more protected to join actions. It's very hard for people with weak contracts to take actions. They're very, the self-confidence, of course. They might want to take action, but ze staan erg zwak, they're very weak in their position to take action, very scared to do so. So if we have this protection of a union, then it will be easier to mobilize also for this action, so more people could join. Well, at the same time, the students, of course, can take action. What we could organize is a student demonstration in which teachers and researchers join, but taking action in the sense of industrial action, striking, work to rule, stiptheidsactie. That is, well, very dangerous for people with weak contracts, and even with strong contracts, because you're not protecting them.
Thank you. I see a lot of hands. I have a technical point here, I have a quick point there, a quick point there, then a regular point, regular point, regular point, regular.
Well, it's a question to you, actually, to you who has been there with the union conversation. When do you expect them to respond? To come back? No, the union. You said... Oh.
Nevertheless,
I have an important very short one. Come on. Sorry, just 10 seconds. We forgot the third option. The third option is actually, and we have to discuss this, give them an extension and do in the meantime actions.
This is not...
Okay? That's the third option. It is, really, to put some pressure.
Come on, this is not
Short response. Yesterday we were at a meeting when unions said that they need few days. I think that few days doesn't make any difference, because if within few days unions come up with this ultimatum, it doesn't make any difference with what we are doing, because then we are protected anyhow, if that's what you mean.
Right, once more for the order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, I completely agree that we have a momentum. I think the struggle we have started is a longer-term struggle anyhow, so we have to give the promise to ourselves that we continue that, and so I think we can give an extension and we wouldn't lose much in that, because most of our claims cannot be fulfilled within the next week, and so we have to collect our energy for a longer-term struggle anyhow.
Court is not that long, so you actually do have to walk up.
No, I just had a question for those who want to reject moving another couple of days to the CFB. What are you thinking? Because it seems to me like we're bluffing, really. Is there anything short of the nuclear option that is a strike? Like, what can we do if we say, no, you don't get 48 hours? Then what?
So I'm open for a short extension, but I really think one strategic point is that as long as they don't say anything, time works for them. So we need them to react publicly, which will be very important for the momentum we have. That's why I think if extension, let it be Sunday evening or Monday morning. I agree now with Guy.
I have a quick point.
I want to point that with occupations in the past, it has been shown that any delay wears out occupiers. So I think we should really move fast, don't wait for anything, make our plan to go.
I wanted to follow what you said before with the short intervention, that if we combine saying, okay, you have until Sunday evening, but anyway, like if you don't do something, on Monday we're going to have a big lecture on the dam. Something like that, not the strike, because the strike we're clearly not ready, and it's not even clear whether people would want to go on strike eventually, but something like that, having a demonstration, having lectures, having something, and that we already schedule. We might even decide to still do them if they respond, but still, we have something that makes the threat credible, because otherwise it lacks bite.
Thank you. I have a technical point and 4 more points here. I do want to emphasize that we are quite past half the time for the meeting and we have a lot of things to discuss left. So please do.
That was my technical point, that maybe we need to vote on this so we have enough time to discuss the last part.
Right. Rudolf wants to say something really badly. Please do keep it short.
An ultimatum is an ultimatum. If you are going to extend it, you are going to fall into their trap. There must be action. You don't have to be scared. The CVB has said there will be no action on people who take these steps. They have specifically stated that in press releases, and you don't have to be scared, especially if we are with 300. We have strength in these numbers, and with these 300, we must move, and we must move now. We don't need the union, we don't need official permission. We have to change the university ourselves.
Thank you. Can we go to the temperature check? Technical.
I propose that someone makes a proposition and we can have a temperature check on it.
Thank you. Does anyone have a good proposal to make so we can do the temperature check now?
I wanted also to say, we are talking about actions, but we already have an action working group. So we already have a brainstorm on a lot of actions. We already have 600 people on the mailing list. We already have a lot of people prepared to do actions. next week. So the proposal I would make is do the ultimatum on Monday morning 9 o'clock, and then we can go on next week and do those actions.
Monday morning 9 o'clock, temperature check, yes, nah, no? Evening, did you say evening? Morning, right. That seems like an obvious yes. Is anyone noting down the action points? Don't worry, it's all on camera, so we can just watch it back. But the action points, can someone note them down?
Specify a time.
9 o'clock, Monday morning. Technical point, please come up.
I think a better way is first to have a temperature check on whether to grant some more time, and then to have a temperature check on until when, because there have been many discussions. Should be until Monday morning, should be until Tuesday afternoon. That's quite a difference.
We do have a time schedule though.
I'm sorry, but the temperature check already passed, and it's already passed, and let's move on to the next agenda point.
Clarification? Is it with the FNV? Please come up and present yourself.
We cannot hear it.
Is Monday morning going to be together with the FNV? Or not, the union?
Well, the Action Preparation Committee of the FNV has a meeting Monday morning. That's all. Yeah.
They work office hours.
So, the thing is, if you want to have the FNV there officially with official strike law, rights, etc. I'm sorry, first of all, maybe there's confusion about what kind of action. If you want to do industrial action, then you really need the FNV. If you want to do a demonstration, of course you can do that anytime. But if you want to do a strike or work the rule, then you really need some protection. And it takes the union some time, it takes the CVB some time to react to the demands of the union, because you need to give them some time to react to that.
Right, please try to keep your points short, because we really have only about 20 minutes left at max, and let's at least try to finish point 3. We finished part of point 3.
You need to ask yourself, how successful has the FNV been? It's a question, short point.
But there is agreement to have an ultimatum and what we need is the time. Set the time.
You had your hand up. If you would have just waited a little second, you would have gotten the mic.
Yeah, but my point is not a short point, it has to do with something else. I'd like to talk about that. But now there is agreement on the ultimatum, and the only thing you have to do is to say, is it 9 o'clock or is it 12 o'clock? And actually, and I'll explain that a little later, it doesn't make that difference for what we have to do. 9 is okay.
Quick point.
There is Bachelor Day tomorrow. If you want to do further actions, which are not a strike, not industrial actions, but just to keep the pressure on the CVB, go to the Bachelor's Day, support the students that do protest there.
2 more points.
I'd like to add to the... Do you want to get it? I want to add to the proposition that has already been adopted, that at the same time that we respond to the CVB, cheeky email, that we at the same time release a formal letter with everyone's agreement to the Raad van Toezicht, explaining that we are, that the cup is brim, that we are now asking them, short of a complete consent to our demands on Monday 9 a.m., we are officially asking them to take direct action against the current CVB and to move ahead with plans to replace them in a democratic, participatory way. May we have, I'm asking for a temperature check.
Temperature check. That seems like a yes. Maybe the new Universiteit will join you in that. Would like to join you.
Just one word on the unions. I don't want the press to get the impression that we are in any way against the unions. So we absolutely appreciate any support that comes, but I don't need that we have to coordinate the deadline for that. We will start a process of protest and various forms, and it will be crucial to have you on board, but I don't think we need the exact same deadline for that. So just, that's...
Quick point, regular flight.
One last thing, do we want the response from the CVB to be only written or also in public?
Public.
Public.
Okay, so they don't need to appear here to...
Quick temperature check. Public or not? Public or not? Seems like...
Public is unclear to me because written can immediately be made public, so...
No, my question is, do we want them to appear in person?
One more than in person, yes or no? No? Good, next point.
I wanted to ask about what exactly did we mean by... There was just a proposal to write to the Raad van Toezicht, which I very much agree with. But we should think about what exactly are we asking them. Because I do not agree with asking them only to replace the CVB. Because then we have a next king, but we have not changed the system yet. So we must make clear what exactly we want to ask the Raad van Toezicht. And I think I would like to propose to ask them to not replace it with interim management or something, but replace it or give us the opportunity to elect a constituent assembly that will organize the process towards democratization and the other discussions we want, and will impose a new structure, the new university.
The Raad van Toezicht is not this point though, so let's move that one as it's not that urgent as this letter. We still have to decide whether we split demand 1 and 3 from 2 or not.
We didn't. We didn't.
I don't split.
Can you elaborate?
It's in the vote that you didn't. You wanted a full reply, that was set for all points.
It's done.
We can check it completely. Awesome. Now let's go to the other updates. FNV or others.
I'd actually like, I would like to raise a more general point actually, which I think is pretty important. Yes, and that relates to the following. There has been some speculation about the strategy of the CVB, and that's of course an interesting topic. Today I received, as many other people in my faculty, we received a mail from the Dean. And we know also in other faculty that has happened. In that mail, the Dean says that he had such a good conversation with the ondernemingsraad about what was going on, and that further activities would follow in this area. And furthermore, he said that he also had shared his report on that meeting with the other deans and with the Board of Governors. To me, that smells as part of a strategy, because that was also a little bit elaborated on trying to channel the unrest and the revolt into the channels that are there of chosen representatives to deal with it. I raised myself 2 questions. Yes. A, did I know about this, that meeting with the ondernemingsraad, that was going on? I didn't, and I asked other colleagues, they didn't either. Did I get a report from my chosen representatives? I didn't. Nobody did. Yes? Now, I have the hypothesis that one of the ideas in the plan of the Board of Governors is to channel the entire affair via the core and the ondernemingsraad. That brings up a strategic point on how do we relate to our chosen representatives and vice versa. because there may be a little accountability problem, not just for the CVB, but also for chosen representatives. And I'm not saying that's the case, but I think it's important to talk about that here. What I've done, of course, I have contacted the chair of the ondernemingsraad in my faculty and asked what's going on here, and actually she's here, so she may want to say something about that. Why I'm raising it now relates to the previous point and the next point. Yes, we have now some time and we can say we have the momentum, but if you want further action, and if you want to mobilize a broader action and to counteract what's being planned to divide and rule over the faculty, with the deans, have the conversations with all sorts of groups of people, you have to start acting and mobilize in the faculties. So you should use that time for that. And the other thing is we should come to an agreement with the core and the ondernemingsraad on how we deal with one another in this horizontal accountable way and what they do and won't do in terms of this process. I think if there is a proposal, what we need to know, if there comes a proposal, you can already think about that, to channel it all to the core, whether that's acceptable to this meeting, or whether we want, which would be my preference, and I guess a number of people, that we have an independent commission that relates to that point, which will coordinate further discussions and negotiations on the new charter for this new university. There's a choice there, and I think it's important to discuss it, and I think it's important to synchronize with the chosen representatives that they don't go behind our backs.
Thank you. Please do try to keep it some shorter. That's all good, but please try not to monopolize the time. Tigger.
Yeah, so the core, the Centrale Ondernemingsraad already issued a week ago, the Centrale Ondernemingsraad already issued a press release a week ago that they don't want to negotiate at all with the board until this problem of trust is solved. So on that level we don't have to worry about this. I agree that I see this strategy as well, that all the negotiations are now in faculties instead of on a university level. So I think that is indeed something we should take care of.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, thank you. I was challenged to come here, which I'll do with much pleasure. I am chairing the Employee Council on the ondernemingsraad of the Faculty of Social Sciences. I very much agree with the last point made that we should really synchronize our actions. And I think I see the risk indeed of the management, the dean in our case, to pamper us, to try to sort of squeeze us in. We see that risk. But at the same time, we also see that what you're doing, and what we are doing in the last couple of weeks is actually helping us to build further on the rights that we have. It gives us more space and more opportunities to work within the structures that we have. So let's try to avoid sort of working against each other and also making each other sort of a potential enemy. We are not. We are working in different ways, but we're working for the same end.
We've chosen you.
Yes.
Thanks. Please, again, quick point, then here, then here.
Not an employee, but watching the happening on a national level. So there is core, but there are also other channels like the FES-NU, and watch them. Start watch groups because they determine the volume of your democratic voice in the end. Just adding to the rest.
Thank you. Okay.
I think the entire reason why last week a group of people bashed in that door was because the original channels of medezeggenschap were not working. Last Thursday I was in a meeting where we were supposed to discuss our trust in the board of directors, and we did not because it was actually warded off. Keeping this strategy will not bring up the real points why people are here and why people all in the country now are starting to believe that this management structure, this efficiency thinking thing is over. We need to not let it go out of our hands.
Good. One more.
Yes, I would like to make a small announcement. A few days ago we, with the General Assembly, decided to organize a broad demonstration next week, Friday. Today at 7 o'clock we're going to make some preparations for it, and it would be very helpful if some teachers would be around to support this and think with us about the strategy for this demonstration in order to make it as broad as possible.
Can they contact you if they want to help? Contact him if you want to help.
Maybe you want help.
You could see him, you can walk to him, he's walking around here, he is here right now, so if you want to help, just walk up to him after this meeting. Any other updates?
Working statement?
Sorry?
Are we at the working?
No, we're at the other updates. Any other updates?
Yes. Just a working statement is an update.
Moving on to something to say on behalf of a work group for temporary staff, because this is something, this is a group that was actually started before this entire new university protest, actually. Basically, the sentiment among these people is that they're worried. And there might be someone who says, okay, we have safety in numbers, and the CVB won't take active action against employees. Many of us have contracts that end in June, July, against whom no active action needs to be taken. So, as a work group, we prepared a statement. Unfortunately in Dutch, I hope it's okay if I just read it in Dutch because people took care of the phrasing so that it's in Dutch. I'll just read it out, if that's okay with you. Is that okay? Een consequent en constructief beleid voor tijdelijke medewerkers. UvA heeft de laatste decennia een beleid gevoerd dat de kwaliteit van academisch onderzoek en onderwijs ernstig in gevaar heeft gebracht. Dat is de afgelopen weken wel duidelijk gemaakt. Eén aspect van dit beleid is nog onvoldoende aan bod gekomen. Een aspect van dit beleid dat nog onvoldoende aan bod is gekomen is de omgang met tijdelijke werknemers. Momenteel is meer dan 40% van de staf aan de Nederlandse Universiteit in tijdelijke dienst. Een doordacht en op inhoudelijke criteria gestoeld beleid over tijdelijke medewerkers ontbreekt echter al jaren. Dit heeft geleid tot misbruik van het instrument en het tijdelijke contract en tot een groeiende discrepantie tussen de functieomschrijving en daadwerkelijke verantwoordelijkheden. Wij, als leden van de zogenaamde flexibele schil, willen de scheefgegroeide omstandigheden van langdurig, soms tijdelijk personeel en de eenzijdigheid van de tot op heden gesuggereerde oplossingen agenderen. Zo willen wij voorkomen dat zowel de UvA als de individuele werknemers onherstelbare schade oplopen. Wij ondersteunen de eisen van ReThink UvA, maar vinden dat de moeilijke positie van de huidige en toekomstige tijdelijke werknemers in de discussie onvoldoende belicht is. Dit is niet wenselijk omdat deze groep steeds het zwaarst getroffen wordt door het universiteitsbeleid en processen van herstructurering. Wij willen daarom een beroep doen op ReThink UvA als geheel om de volgende punten over te nemen. Er dienen minimaal 2 vertegenwoordigers, ongeveer dus proportioneel met de hoeveelheid tijdelijke werknemers, van de tijdelijke werknemers aanwezig te zijn bij de overlegmomenten van ReThink UvA en het CVB. 2. Met deelpunten. De volgende punten moeten duidelijker zichtbaar gemaakt worden op de agenda. Daadwerkelijke gelijkwaardigheid voor al het wetenschappelijk personeel. Zo vallen alle docenten onder de CAO en moeten ze aanspraak kunnen maken op onderzoekstijd en budget. Structurele vertegenwoordiging van vast en tijdelijk personeel in inspraakorganen. Soms blijkt namelijk dat tijdelijke staf gewoon uitgesloten wordt van stafvergaderingen. Bijvoorbeeld. Heel merkwaardige situaties. Verruiming van de mogelijkheden om goed functionerende tijdelijke docenten vast aan te stellen. En, zeker gezien de ontwikkelingen nu, een overgangsregeling voor de huidige tijdelijke docenten die in het nieuwe CAO-akkoord en mogelijke verdere ontwikkelingen tussen wal en schip lijkt het voor. Thanks.
Thank you. I have an update here.
As announced on Wednesday, we started our PhD working group right before this meeting, and we will continue right after the meeting upstairs again. We are still looking for PhDs from law faculty, economics, so please join and subscribe to the PhD ReThink mailing list. Thanks.
Thank you. Any more updates? No? Then we can finish that one. and go to how to proceed. I just got a quick message about the Bachelor Day. We're trying to get people to come here as well. That could be something you guys could think about too. We have organization and communications, Raad van Toezicht letter, and the next meeting. Anyone?
Okay, it's on the Raad van Toezicht letter. We just thought that it would be a good addition to the letter we already voted on. If you were going to suggest the Raad van Toezicht initiated or on any moment took the initiative to contact us and also the new university for on the way of forming an independent committee which is going to take over, as we say in Dutch, the regie on all the proceedings, because I don't think whatever the CVB is going to do is going to solve the confidence crisis. That is a sort of proposal. I want very much that to be in a letter to the Raad van Toezicht.
I interpreted how to proceed as how to proceed now that we've given them an extension and what our actions would be. And since there is an actions group working, maybe they could give us a little bit of an insight as to what they have thought of, and then maybe others of us could suggest some of the actions that we have thought of. Yeah. So the action committee.
Action committee?
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, technical point. Because there's cameras. Well, there's not yet anything that cannot the camera shouldn't know.
So one suggestion is that we all massively go to Rutterseiland and take over the meeting and or hold our own alternative meeting in the hallway or in another space at Rutterseiland. Do you want to follow up on it?
Screw it, I just think we can't, we take it over. It's not about boycotting it. If they do not respond to our, concretely to our demands by 9 o'clock Monday morning, as we've asked them again and again, they no longer have the right of consultation to begin with. They are delegitimized. If we want to have a discussion about how to democratize this university, broad consultation, we are one of the bodies that can legitimately hold that. The CVB will have lost the shred of trust that it has now. Can we do a temperature check on, concretely, my proposal is, that Monday on...
I'll check the time and email it to everybody. No, it's the meeting, the last time the meeting was, I think, at 12:30, and that's my assumption is it's around the same time.
Okay, so it's either going to be at 1:30 or 12:30. One of the two. Will keep you posted. My proposal is that we walk in there, or we're present there, us, our students, and whoever can join, and we begin. We will prepare the discussion, and we will run the discussion. And if the members of the CVB want to sit and participate as audience, as interviewees, they're welcome to join, to lend their voice to the discussion, just like anyone else right here. By that point, they will have lost their legitimacy, at least in my eyes. Can we have a temperature check on that proposal?
I guess that's clear. 1:30 is the time. We kind of have to finish up. So, can someone conclude for me about the Bachelor Day? You go ahead.
Yeah, before people leave, on the tables behind you over there is just the giantest stack of scenes, small pamphlets about how to do actions and organize yourselves and how to organize meetings like this. Please take all of them and read them all. They're amazing.
The meeting on Monday is in CREA, and we'll see if we can organize some students, it's a little bit chaos over there if you've never been there, to help you guys find the way. So we'll see what we can do, okay?
Yes?
I just have a question, because now basically we decided that we will give them a little bit longer of time. We also said we'll write a letter to the Raad van Toezicht. How will our wording be in terms of the actions? Because do we use the same phrasing that's underneath it, or underneath our current letter, which might give the impression of, you know, like what we often have with students, you give them one deadline, one extension, they'll ask for another. So how do we deal with that?
We kind of had this point already. We have to finish up the meeting. Working group. Working group. All right, 2 points.
I have only a question. Is there some website where everything is listed? The events, meetings and actions, so that we know what we can attend to? Maagdenhuis, to Luthersheimer,
Everything we do, everything we announce is on the ReThink.nl website. ReThink UvA.nl. Oh, is it UvA? Oh, ReThink UvA.nl, and we could very well think about a specific action day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday action day, and we'll list all of the initiatives, especially if you also give us input from what is going on.
Yes, you had a point? No, it's been made. Over there? Please do come up. We can't hear you like that.
Hello, my name is Anne from Kenya. I would like to put this like, are you gaining something from this demonstration? Do you see something coming out of it?
Yes. Yes, we do.
So about the agenda, on the Humanities Ready website, I'm making this Google Calendar thing with all the actions from the new Universiteit, the whole Netherlands in it, and Humanities Ready, and the philosophers in Rotterdam. And the new Universiteit is participating in that as well, to put everything on that list. Shall I send that agenda to you as well, so that you can add stuff in there?
Yeah, Basil?
Just quite a technical organizational one, because the working groups we work now are not completely clear. I think we need a working group to formulate this letter to the CVB and to the Raad van Toezicht. Because, but there is not a negotiation group formally. So technically, I think we need a group, and people need to be transparent, and people need to be able to. And I am not the contact person.
So who can be responsible for the which group again? Sorry, negotiation group. The name is less important. Anyone who wants to be responsible for that. The name of the group. That will be emailed. Cool. Then I have a quick proposal so we can finish the Raad van Toezicht thing. I think the new Universiteit would love to join in on that. We have a working group of those two combined. We could put it in there. Temperature check. Yeah, it seems like yes. Cool. So if we could just summarize the Bachelor Day, then we could end this meeting.
Quick point. The Department of the Union today is meeting about possibly making free money for strikes and stuff. They haven't come with an answer yet. That might be positive or not, I know. But they have already said that on the 1st of May they want to support a strike of all ambtenaren, public and civil servants. So we already got that. checking the news for
Central, please.
a positive reaction from the union.
Please do keep it central. Okay, so for the Bachelor's Day, what we've had so far, the idea behind it is that I'm a very bad person. The idea behind the Bachelor's Day is not that we don't want people to go to UvA, we want people to go to UvA, but we want them to be critically engaged with what is going on, not only in the university, but beyond. So that's the general message. We kind of thought that we could, take the same format that the UvA takes, but parody it a bit. With little booths, and I mean everyone here is very knowledgeable about everything that's going on, so I think it'll work quite smoothly. It would be nice if people want to be involved and help us. Teachers give it credibility as well, because who are we, a bunch of students, to tell students that the UvA is screwed up? No, but just for them, like it's always nice to see a mature face.
Just a reminder for everyone, tomorrow at 12 o'clock, David Graeber will be here, so please all come and join us for this very exciting talk and debate. This is a result of a somewhat small group of people who are trying to bring in a lot of lectures here together with the students. There's a list, there's a little bit of a waiting list for people to come. There are about 5 or 6 other speakers already lined up. Of course, we don't know how long this space is going to be like it is now, liberated space. But we have planned lectures until next Friday, but there will be a much larger conference mid-April, and this small group is now preparing that. Regardless of what's going to happen here, we're going to have a really big public conference and debate, 2 days debate, mid-April.
Thank you. Anything else on the Bachelor Day?
This is just a small remark. It's actually a really ugly thing to say, but it's true. Are you all aware that the university has been passing out information sheets to the students that are supposed to be on the Bachelor Day about the possible questions that they might have, the new students might have about the occupation of this building? That's what really entices me to really go there and counter the university story, because it's horrible. They're proactively censoring this, and that's horrible.
Alright, so I think we can finish this up. Do we have someone working on a Bachelor Day from the Universiteit? Are you?
Maybe I just didn't listen, but where is the Bachelor meeting at what time? I don't mean the preparations, but where will the students gather, the new students for the Bachelor Day at what time?
Right
here. Officially, I mean. Sorry? Rutters Eiland, what time? Okay, everywhere. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
I just sent them here.
Okay.
Are you working on the working group Bachelor Day? Cool, so just if you want to help in any way, go to Taraj. And with that, I think we can finish this meeting so the orchestra can start. Thank you all.